All right, so hello everybody. So, I hope that most of you got to do the quiz, I hope. Okay, so it was like available for a couple of days. So when I go to the submissions on the quiz, okay, I see 15 submissions, okay. So, the whole objective of the practice quiz was just to make you avoid having to do the, you know, with the pressure of the quiz, if you never seen how to submit something on Brightspace, and then you have the pressure of the quiz, it's got so it can confuse you. That was a goal for the practice quiz, right? That was a goal for that. Okay, so the next time we're gonna have a test, I think it's gonna be about October, around October the 5th. The test will be on Zoom session, right? It's gonna be, I will be watching on Zoom session. So for the test, when you're done, you're gonna tell me I am done. And then you're gonna take, only then you will be allowed to take your cell phone, do the pictures or do the scanning, right? And then if you are not familiar with the submission, then you can go ahead and send your copy to me, right? You can go ahead and send your copy to me, to my email for the test. But it's easier for me if you submit a PDF file on Brightspace. This want to save me a lot of time, rather than if you send it to me, okay? The submission, I think I will open again. I think I will open again the practice quiz. So all of you, I will reinitiate, I will reopen another practice quiz for all of you to see what happens, how to submit your, to take your cell phone, take your cell phone, scan, get a PDF file and send it to me. I think I'm gonna have to do that again and again and again until everybody knows how to do that process, okay? All right, so we're gonna continue, for the test, that's gonna be on the 5th of October. I will post a review sheet on Brightspace. It's going to be a review sheet on Brightspace, and it will have some problems to review. If you know how to do all of them by yourself independently, then you should have no problem with the test, okay? All right, that's going to happen maybe a week before the test. So now we can go ahead and continue what we were doing, which was the absolute value inequalities, right? Absolute value inequalities. Last time, I think we did a couple of problems, so we're gonna continue on that note. So I'm gonna give you everybody to solve and write your answer as an interval. That is the first one, right? That is the second one. All right. So I let you some good minutes Everybody try to do that by yourself. You have to get the absolute value by itself, and then you have to break down, right? You know, exactly as we did Tuesday, right? So for the second one, there is a little catch on the second one. You see, I have 7 minus 3 times, etc. But you all know you cannot, there's something you cannot do at the beginning, right? Okay, try that. I let you like some good, 5 minutes. All right. Can somebody walk with us over what they did the first step? The first one?
Add 9.
You add 9, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get 5 parentheses, I mean, absolute value of 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 30. And then what you
30. Divide by 5,
divide by 5. Thank you. So you
which
get
gives you 6.
3x minus 4 absolute value is less than or equal to 6. Okay, now comes the crucial steps now.
3x minus, what is it? 3x minus 4 equals 6, and then 3x minus 4 equals negative 6.
Yeah, but these two, you see, this is less than or equal to, right?
Oh, well, yeah, less than or equal to.
Okay, this is not an equation. So we rather break it down with inequalities also. Okay, we rather break it down with inequalities. So somebody remembers how we broke it down last time?
You add 4 to both sides.
That is too early, right?
A negative 6 and positive 6.
Yeah, you put negative 6 here.
Negative.
You put positive 6 here, but then you put less than. Remember that. That is the step you need to remember. Okay? That step is what you need to remember. And that is, every time you have the absolute value by itself, you have to break it down this way before you proceed, right? Okay? And if it is less than or equal to, it breaks down as a compound inequality like that. Negative 6 less than or equal to 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 6, right? And then now you add 4 now. You see, now you add 4, you add 4, you add 4. So you get negative 2 less than or equal to 3x less than or equal to positive 10. And then now you divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. So you get negative 2/3 is less than x less than 10/3. And if you graph it this way, you have negative 2/3, you have 10/3, and it's everybody in between, which is negative 2/3, comma, 10/3. And when you have sum like that, if you have absolute value less than a positive number, your solution is always a bounded interval. Okay? If you have absolute value less than a positive number, your solution is going to be always a bounded interval. All right? Okay? So now the next one now. Okay. Can somebody tell me what they did first for the next one?
Subtract 7.
Thank you very much. You see, in particular here, we don't say 7 minus 3. We don't say that, right? We're going to subtract 7, subtract 7. So we get negative 3, absolute value of x plus 6 is less than negative 3, right? And now what we do now to get the absolute value by itself?
Divide by negative 3.
Mm-hmm. What happens when we do that? When you divide by a negative number?
It flips the sign.
Yeah.
Exactly. We flip the sign. So basically we get, if we do divide by negative 3 here, and we divide by negative 3 here, the less than becomes a greater than, right? Okay. It might be x plus 6 greater than 1. Okay. Now, who remembers how we broke it down this way? How we broke down this one?
You do -1 and 1.
Okay.
You have to do 2 equations.
Okay, so you get -1 here. And 1 here, what are the two inequalities? Remember, what are the two inequalities?
Greater than.
Greater than x plus 6, right? Okay, do we write them like this?
No, no.
Exactly. This is what I said. You don't write it like this, okay? For the greater than or equal to case, you have to have two separated. You have to have two separate inequalities, and in between put or. You see or x plus 6 greater than 1. Okay, I mean, there's no equal to, I'm sorry, there's no equal to here. That's just was greater than. And this is what you need to remember. Go ahead.
How can you tell when it should be together or separate? Like the
Yeah, that is exactly the two cases. It should be separated when this is greater than, right? Greater than, when you break it down, it gives you two separated inequalities like that. That is a math, right? And there is no other way around that, okay? When it is less than, you can do them, you can write them this way, right? Okay, so why did I say this is different from this? Give me a couple of reasons this is different from this, and this are different. Give me a couple of reasons. You see?
-1 cannot be greater than 1.
Exactly. One of the good reasons, if we hide this stuff in the middle, is -1 greater than 1? It is not, right? And the other reason is this way of writing hides an and, right? It is and, okay? But this way here is or. So the bottom line is this way is completely wrong, okay? This way is completely wrong. Now in mathematics, there's something we cannot avoid in math, is almost memorizing, okay? It's almost memorizing. It's not a dirty word, right? Memorizing is not a dirty word in math. This breakdown this way, okay? Absolute value greater than inequality does break down with two separated inequalities this way, you see? Now, 2 weeks from now, you have to remember that, okay? And last time we showed where this come from, you know, with a very simple example, we showed where this come from, okay? But this is how it does break down, okay? So we have to practice enough until you remember, until it becomes a mechanical. When I have greater than, it is two separated inequalities. When I have less than, it is one compound inequalities like that, okay? And now we just solve, you know, we subtract 6, subtract 6, subtract 6, subtract 6. What we get? We get -7 is greater than x, or x is greater than -5, right? So we have -7 here, we have -5 here, like that, like that. So this is -infinity, -7, union -5 infinity. So -infinity, -7, union -5 infinity. Okay? So now we can summarize the two cases, okay? If it does help you remember that, let me summarize it. When you have, like you have two cases, if it is absolute value less than, right, a positive number. Your solution is always a bounded interval. Okay? That's going to be always the solution. If it is absolute value greater than a positive number, your solution will be two separated intervals. It's going to be this side and this side. Okay, always. All right. All right, so this is, some type of equations. Another type of equations we can go ahead and, we can investigate, real quick, not to stay a lot in it, but we can say, for instance, radical equations. Okay, for instance, if we say solve square root of x minus 3, right, plus 9 is equal to 14, right? So I know here to have access to the x, sooner or later, we will have to do what? To get access to the x, sooner or later, we'll have to do what?
Square both sides.
Square both sides. Thank you very much. It's just a matter of when do we have to do that? When, right? Do we feel like we are ready to do that, to square both sides?
No.
No.
No, we're not. What we going to do first?
Subtract
Subtract the 9 from both sides.
Subtract the 9 from the both sides, right? Subtract 9, subtract 9. So we get square root of x minus 3 is equal to 5. And now are we ready now to square both sides?
Yes.
Now we are ready to square both sides, right? So now we can go ahead and square both sides. So we get square here, so we get x minus 3 is equal to 25, right? And now we add, we get x equal to 28. So in theory, are we done yet? What do you think?
No, we
No.
have to check.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Do we have to check because we feel like we did a mistake, or what? Why we have to check?
Make sure the math checks out.
Exactly. You see, we don't check because we think we did a mistake. We haven't done no mistake for sure. But we check because that solution could be a false solution. Okay, that should be like a fake solution. That is why here we have always to check. So again, square root of 28 minus 3 plus 9, this is 25. Square root of 25 is 5, 5 plus 9 is 14. So that is a check, okay? Okay, so now I give you another one, which might be a little bit longer, square root of x plus 10 minus 4 equal to x. All right, everybody. You see, as you can see, this one was longer, right? A little bit longer. So, what you have to do first?
Add 4.
Add 4, right?
Yeah.
Add 4 to both sides. So we get square root of x plus 10 is equal x plus 4. You see now, this one is going to be a little bit longer because now we don't have a single number on the right side. We have x plus 1 on the right side, right? So when we square both sides, we have to do some work, right? You see, we do this. Okay, so we get x plus 10 is equal to, okay, after you break down x plus 4 squared, this is x plus 4 times x plus 4, right? And you distribute. You see, this, right?
Yep.
We get x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay? Now you have the choice of the method you want to do. Okay? This is a quadratic equation. Okay? This is a quadratic equation. So if you want to, you can use a quadratic formula. If you want to, you can try to factor, right? Okay, in either way, what you have to have on one side?
0.
0.
0, right? You have to have 0 on one side. Okay, which side we want to empty up?
The left.
The left side. So minus x, minus 10, minus 10. We get x squared plus 7x minus or plus 6 is equal to 0, right? And then, do we try to factor or do we use quadratic formula? What you prefer?
You can do
factor.
both. I
You
factor.
can factor, right? Okay, this factor as what?
6 and 1.
6 and 1, x plus 6, x plus 1 equal to 0. So we get x equal negative 6 or x equal negative 1. And we have to check them back, right? You see, we check them from the beginning right here. If you put negative 6 here, what's going to happen? Look, put negative 6 here. What is negative 6 plus 10?
It's 4.
Positive 4. What is the squares of positive 4?
2.
2. What is 2 minus 4?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So does it match negative 6 here?
No.
It does not match. So negative 6 is a wrong solution, you see? Now we try negative 1. If you put negative 1 here, what is negative 1 plus 10? It's 9, right? The squares of 9 is how much?
3.
3. 3 minus 4 is how much?
5.
No, 3 minus 4 is negative 1, right?
Negative 1.
And then we have negative 1 here, so they match. So negative 1 is a good answer. Okay? So, for instance, if I have this one right here, 2 parentheses x plus 1 to 2/3 power is equal to 8. Okay? So by the way, everybody remembers an exponent like 2/3. The 3 on the denominator is like what?
The cubed root.
Cube root. Thank you very much. Okay. The square, the numerator is a regular square. The denominator is always a radical, right? Okay. The numerator is a regular square, and the denominator is a radical, right? You see. So if you want to rewrite this, you can say this is 2 cube root of x plus 1 square if you want to. You can read this way, okay? If you remember back in 083, we know we have to do some stuff. We know we have to eliminate the cube root. We know we have to eliminate the square, right? We have to do all of that. We have to do two things. We have to eliminate this cube root, and we have to eliminate the square, right? But first, we have to do what first? Before we do all this stuff, we have to do first.
Isolate x on one side.
Exactly. We have to get this term by itself, right? Which means we have to divide by 2. Okay, this makes it easier. So it's going to be cube root of x plus 1 squared is equal to 4. Now let me do something. Let me do something to eliminate the cube root. What is your suggestion?
Cube both sides. No, wait,
Exactly.
square both.
The third power?
We raise to the third power, cube both sides. Everybody understand that? Everybody understand? The same way here, we squared both sides here because we have a square root. You see, this is a square root, right? If you have a square root, you square both sides. The same way, if you have a cube root, you're going to cube both sides, right? Right, you got that? Cube. What's going to happen? This cancel out, right? We get what? You get x plus 1 squared
Equals 64.
is equal to 64. Now, if you have x plus 1 squared is equal to 64 now you need to square both sides, right? Okay, we square both sides. Square root, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, square root both sides. But what is going to happen? What happens every time you square root both sides? What's happened? What you do?
You have to do plus or minus.
Plus or minus, remember that? That was like, 2 weeks ago, right? So we get x plus 1 is equal to negative plus or minus 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we subtract 1, we get x equal to negative 1 plus or minus 8, which gives me positive 7 or negative 9, right? But again, these are only possible solutions. What you're going to do to them, we're going to check them out, right? Every time we square root both sides, we cube root both sides, etc., etc. Every time we do that, we have to check the answers right here. We have to check this one. We have to check this one, right? Okay, so, checking, right, just you put, for instance, let's say, take 7, when you put 7 here. So that is my, it's 2 for 7. It's 2, 7 plus 1 to the 2/3. Is it equal to 8, right? What is 7 plus 1? It's 8, right? How much is 8 raised to the 2/3 power? You have to do 2 operations. You have to square and you have to take cube root, right?
Is it 4?
It's going to be 4, right? Everybody agrees with that? And it doesn't matter which one which operation you start to do. It doesn't matter. If you want to square first, go ahead. How much is 8 squared? It's 64. What is cube root of 64? Is 4, right? Or if you want to, you can do the cube root first. What is cube root of 8? Is 2. 2 squared is 4. So this is 4 right here. And 2 times 4 is 8. So we got 8 equal 8. That's it. Now for negative 9. For negative 9, if you do 2 times for negative 9, two negative 9 plus 1 to the 2/3, right? Is it equal to 8? Again, what is negative 9 plus 1? It's negative 8, right? How much is negative 8 raised to the 2/3? How much is that then?
-2.
You think so?
Well, no, wait.
I'm-
I mean, sorry. I just did the cube root first. So cubing it would be -2. The cube root would be -2, and then you square it, and then you get 4 again.
You get 4 again. Thank you very much. You know, you can start to do the cube root or the square, doesn't matter which way. If you do the cube root, -8, cube root of -8 is -2, and -2 squared is +4, right? If you do -8 squared, we get 64, and cube root of 64 is 4, right? So this is also 4 also. And 2 times 4 is 8. So let's check, okay? So both of them work, okay? So now in the test, is this something that you're gonna see likely in my test? No, you know, but it is good to know. Every time you have exponents, if you wanna cancel them out, you do the reverse, right? If you have a square, you do the square root. If you have a cube root, you raise to the 3rd power, etc., right? Okay, so I think this constitute 3 weeks later, this constitute a good review of the equations. You see, the chapter 1 here in 163, the chapter 1 is viewed as a review, okay? Because everything in chapter 1, solving equations, inequalities, absolute value equation, absolute value inequality, etc., everything in there was done in previous classes, okay? That is why even though we spent like 3 weeks on it, almost 3 weeks, yeah, 3 weeks. Even though we spent 3 weeks, but it's still viewed as a review, okay? So what I mean by that is this. If you have digested all the chapter 1 thing, that is a good thing. If you find yourself, for instance, right now, after 3 weeks of class, if you find yourself, you are not very confident how to solve quadratic equations, for instance, how to solve absolute value equations, please try to get help, right? Okay? Try to come to my office hours, try to get help. Don't let it like that, okay? Don't let it go, okay? So you have to know, after chapter 1, you have to know how to solve all the basic equations that we have seen. All of them, we have to know how to solve them, all of them, okay? So now we're gonna start chapter 2, so which is about functions. Okay, so basically in this chapter 2, we're gonna define what is a function, and we're gonna work on that. We're gonna try to find the domain of a function, the range of a function, how to graph some functions, how to read the graph, etc., etc., etc. We're gonna try to do that, right, in this chapter 2. So there will be something you have already seen, and there will be something maybe you never seen before, right? So at first, since chapter 2 is about, you know, graphing some functions, so we're gonna try to review first what is a rectangular system. Rectangular coordinate system. All right, so we're gonna try to review that. Basically, I mean, you're gonna see it is like, you know, how to plot, basically how to plot the axes. You know, usually we have what? We have 2 sets of axes, right? 1 set of 2 axes. So we have the horizontal axis, we have the vertical axis, right? And usually we label the horizontal axis with what variable? Usually we say this is the horizontal one.
X.
X-axis, right? And usually the vertical one we label as the
Y. X.
Y-axis. The two of them where they meet is called what? The point O is called the origin, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and usually we put some units, right? You see, this is, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on the right side of the x-axis, we have the positive units, 1, 2, etc. On the left side, we have the negative, right? -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, etc., etc., right? And here we have on the upper side, upper part of the y-axis, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. On the lower part, we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, right? Etc. Okay, and so on. So when we have a point, you see, if you have any 2 points or any given point like this point, any given point has 2 coordinates, right? It has x coordinate, it has a y coordinate, okay? So do you remember what we do to read what is the x coordinate of this one? Do you remember that?
We use the projection.
What is the x coordinate of this point right here? About how much?
Oh, between 2 and 3.
About 3, right? You see, so we do this right here. That is about 3. So this is a point 3, comma. What is the y coordinate? About how much?
4.
1,
5.
2, 3, 4, 5. About 5, right? 3, 5. Okay. So the 3 is the x coordinate. The 5 is the y coordinate, right? 3 is the x coordinate. And the 5 is the y coordinate. All right. So, and basically the 3 tells you from the origin how much you have to go right. You see, I go right 3 from the origin. And then the 5 tells you how much you have to go up from here. I go up 5, right? Okay. So can we plot the point -4, 2? Go ahead. Can you plot the point -4, 2?
Yeah, to the left 4 and up 2.
Exactly. So to the left 4 right here. Thank you very much. To the left 4, you see, from the origin, I go left 4 right here, and then I go up 2 like this. So this is -4, 2. All right. So can somebody tell me what are the coordinates of this point right here?
7, 0.
That's 7.
0.
7, 0, right? Thank you very much. You see, this point is straight on the x-axis. So the y is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 8 actually, right? Is 8, 0. Okay. And this point right here will be what? How much will be with that point on the y-axis?
0, -4.
0, -4. Okay. So that is, just, for us, just refresh our memories. Okay. So, but we assume everybody in this class knows how to plot points. Everybody in this class knows how to read points, etc., etc. We assume that, and again, if you don't remember that, it's too much, maybe you have to take a look on it, okay, because we're going to use the system of coordinate like very, very often. So now, what do we call the graph of an equation? the graph
A
of
function?
an equation. No, I mean, it doesn't have to be a function, actually, you know, because all the equations do not represent functions. The graph of an equation in XY variable is the set of all points, is the set of all points XY that verifies the equation. Okay, you see, graphing actually is just collecting points, okay? Graphing is just collecting points, okay? Now, if the, of course, right here, if the equation is the graph is above like billions and billions of points, we cannot collect all of them, okay? So, you know, when you have an equation and you want to graph it, hopefully you can get some points. And hopefully you can get enough points to have some type of pattern, okay? But, you know, in 163, actually, we don't know really how to graph. We don't have all the tools, okay? But if the equation is simple enough, you can do something. So in order to be able to graph what you call functions, right? In order to be able to graph them, maybe we have to wait sometimes. Maybe we have to wait until we get to the calculus, for instance, right? Where we have more tools, okay? But other than that, graphing is trying to collect points. Now, if my graph is simple, like if my graph is a straight line, okay? Do I need like to collect like 10 points to graph a straight line? Do I need to collect like 10 points to graph a straight line?
No.
How many points I need to graph a straight line? How many points do I need?
I mean, one if if it's just a straight line.
Only 1 point? You know, if you have 1 point, I think you have short on information.
You need two.
So, exactly. We don't need like 10 of them. We don't need like 20, but we need 2, okay? Okay. But you know, if I want to graph a straight line, I might need like a couple of points to graph something like that. 1 point, and then we graph them. If my graph looks like something like a parabola like this, okay, 2 points is not enough anymore, but maybe I need maybe 1, you know, 2, 3, maybe 4, 5, you know, something like that, okay? So if you don't have the tools, to graph, the question is, how many points do I need? That is the question, okay? That is why in 163, we really don't insist on our graphs, unless if you know how the graph looks like, you see? Unless that, if I know how the graph looks like, then maybe I can go ahead and collect some point and graph it. So let's see, for instance, somebody asks you to graph this equation right here. Graph the equation. The equation, right? By plugging points okay, by plotting points, right? All right, you see, if I do recognize what type of equation is that, if I have a prior knowledge of that, then it's gonna help me figure out how many points I actually need, okay? So, do I recognize this type of equation? Do I have a name for this type of equation?
It's a linear equation.
It is a linear equation, right? Do I have a prior knowledge? Do I know that what type of graph will be a linear equation? What type of graph will you have? A straight line, right? Okay. Since I know this is a straight line, how many points do I need? I need only
2.
a couple of, right? So now here, you're gonna collect your 2 points, everybody, collect your own points, X, Y here, okay? Collect your own points and try to see, after we collect the points now, so we're gonna go back here and plot the 2 points, right? And then graph. All right, so can somebody, can somebody tells me, right? What points, what set of points do they got? Somebody volunteer.
I got 0, -1,
Thank
with
you.
0x and -1y, and then I also got 1 and 2. Well, 1x, 2y.
Thank you very much. You see, these are like some very nice points. Okay, so you see, if you wanna collect points, you have two variables, X and Y. You're gonna give a value for one variable and solve for the other one, right? It depends how the equation is set up. You see, the equation is y equal 3x minus 1, right? Y is by itself. So which variable is easier to solve, to set first, the X or the Y? I give a value for X to get Y, or I do give a value for Y to get X. What is easier to do?
Get Y.
It's get Y, because Y is already by itself, right? So I'm going to give a random value to X, and then I start to solve for Y. This is how we get points, okay? So for instance, what you did here is to set X equals 0 first, right? That is good choice. X equals 0, Y equal -1. And then you set X equal 1, and you get Y equal 2. Everybody see that? No problem with that? See, so my first point is 0, -1. My second point is 1, 2. So then this is my graph like this. Okay? So I give you another one, you try to collect, like now this one here, maybe we'll need more than 2 points only. Y squared minus 1 equal X, you see? Graph Y squared minus 1 equal X. Again, okay, so we need to graph them. We need 5 points, get 5 points, please. You see? And keep in mind, we need to plot those points, right? Since you need to get to plot those points, it doesn't help you if you get like some crazy numbers, okay? So here, look at how the equation is laid down. Y squared minus 1 is equal to X. Which variable is easier to set first?
X.
If you set for X, if you give a value for X here, right?
Well, find X. It's going to be easier to find X.
Exactly, thank you. It's easier to find X, so it's going to be easier to give a value for Y, right? It's just, if you wanna save yourself some calculations, okay? I'm sorry. If you wanna save yourself some calculations, so it's easier to set a value for Y and then try to get X. And then after that, we just go ahead and plot them, right? Okay, meanwhile, you can write your name for the ascendance, please. Okay, everybody try to get like about 5 points, some good 5 points.
Sir,
Yes.
I have a little problem with the message. I wrote
Okay.
my name, but I can't send it. I don't know why.
You cannot? Say again?
I can't send it.
You cannot send the message?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know why.
Okay, hold on. You try to send me a message on my email or on the chat?
The chat here.
Okay. But I marked your name. No problem. Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
I'm trying again.
Yeah. But if it doesn't work, I still have your name marked, I checked your name.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you are here. Okay, so yeah, you see, you have it right here. I have your name here. So, all right. So, okay, can somebody give me the points they got? Can somebody give me the points they got?
0, 1,
You said 0, 1, right? 0 for X and 1 for Y, right? You
oh,
see,
Y, -1.
if you said Y equal 1 square minus 1 will be 0, right? 0 for X. Okay? What other value we can set Y equal to? Use some easy values. If you set Y equals 0, how much we get? 0 square minus 1 is -1. So we have this one. If we set Y equal -1, we got -1 square minus 1 is also 0, right? If we set Y equal 2, we get 2 square minus 1 is 3. If we set Y equal -2, we get -2 square minus 1 is also 3, right? Etc., right? These are some easy points, okay? Because our intent here is to graph, okay? If my intention is to graph, I have to have some easy points, all right?
Oh, I set mine equal to Y, not X. My bad.
Okay. So this is Y squared minus 1 equal to X. Okay. So now we're gonna plot the points. We got 0, 1. We got -1, 0. We got 0, -1. We got 3, 2, right? 3, 2 here. And we got 3 negative 2, etc., etc. So we understand this is going to end up to be like something like that, right? And this is like a parabola, right? Okay. In this parabola, so we have some points that stand out. This point here is where the graph crosses the x-axis. It is called an x-intercept. Okay? This point right here is called a y-intercept. And this point is called a y-intercept. Okay? So x-intercept is the intersection between the graph and the x-axis. Y-intercept is the intersection between the graph and the y-axis, okay? So if I have this, in general right here, right? At this x-intercept, this is an x-intercept right here, right? You see here, I don't have my unit, so I don't know how much is x. But for sure, how much is y? For this point, how much is the y coordinate?
Squared?
For this blue point right here,
Oh,
Zero.
0.
the y coordinate is 0, right? Okay, these two are are y-intercept. This is a y-intercept. This is a y-intercept. Again, I don't have my units, so I don't know how much is y. But how much is x?
0.
For sure, x is 0, right? And here x is 0. You see, if you remember, for the x-intercept, you have to set y equal to 0 and solve for x. And for the y-intercept, you have to set x equal to 0 and solve for y. Okay? Oh, don't forget that for the whole semester. Every time you hear x-intercept, I know the y equal to 0, okay? And every time I hear y-intercept, I know the x equal to 0, okay? Don't forget that. So if I give like some simple equation right here, I said find the x-intercept and y-intercept. And my equation is 3x minus 2y is equal to 12. Okay? So if you want to get the x-intercept, what you do?
Set it to 0.
You set y equal to 0, right? If I want to get the x-intercept, what I do, I say set y equals 0, right? What I get 3x minus 2 times 0 is equal to 12. I get x equal to 4. So what is my x-intercept is 4. If you want to write it as a point, what point is that? Let's say you do Alex, and Alex asks you a point. What's your point you're going to give? How much is x?
Or 0.
4
That would be a
comma
point.
0, right? And the y is 0. Thank you. And for the y-intercept now, you do the other way around. You see, for y-intercept, you set x equals 0, right? And you say 3 times 0 minus 2y is equal to 12. This is 0, so you get y equal negative 6. So what is my answer? This is y-intercept, or you can try 0 comma negative 6, right?
Right.
Okay. So don't forget
Do the
that.
same thing for x as well. Although wouldn't there be two intercepts for x if it's squared?
Yeah, now how many intercepts we got? It depends on how it depends on the equation we got, right?
Oh, this one is just one.
Yeah. This one is a linear equation. This is a straight line. It has only one intercept for each one of it, right? But if I do this one now, x squared minus y squared is equal to 4. Find the
Is that a
x-intercept
circle?
and find the y-intercept. Go ahead.
Is that a circle? No, it's not.
It's almost a circle. No, it's look like the equation of a circle, but it's not. It's an hyperbola. What you call a hyperbola. So everybody, you see, try to follow what we said. If you want to find the x-intercept, you set y equal to 0 and you solve, right? If you find the y-intercept, you set x equal to 0 and you solve. Okay. So all right, so the x-intercept. Somebody got the answers for the x-intercept? Do we have any?
2 and 0.
2 and 0, right? Is this the only one?
No, it's -2 and 0 as well.
Exactly, we have 2 of them, right? Because when you solve, remember when you solve a quadratic equation, when you do square root, you always have to have plus or minus, right? So we set y equals 0. So we get x squared minus 0 squared is equal to 4, right? It's gone. We get x squared is equal to 4. So we get x equal to plus or minus 2. So we have 2 x-intercepts, which are 2, 0 and -2, 0, right? For the y-intercept, what do you get?
Same thing.
0 and -2 and 0 and 2, yeah.
0, -2, 0, 2. Are we sure?
Wouldn't we get no solution?
You got no solution. Thank you. Why?
Because I think it came out to y squared equals -4.
Exactly. Y squared is equal to -4. Where every time you take the square root of a negative number, what's going to pop out?
No solution.
I mean, there is some math solutions, but they don't just apply here. Because what happens when you take the square root of a negative number? What happens? What comes out?
I.
I, right? Now, in this context, in the context of plotting the points, can we plot a point that has I in it?
No.
Right here, you know, if I tell you here, plot the point 0, 2i. Can you put the point 0, 2i here? We cannot,
Yes.
right?
2i?
No, we cannot. There is no I here.
Oh,
Everything
okay.
here is just, you know, regular numbers. Okay. In the context of chapter 2, the I doesn't play. Okay. But when we do the same work, we set x equals 0. We get 0 squared minus y squared is equal to 4. So this ones we get negative y squared is equal to 4, which means y squared is equal to negative 4, which is y equal to plus or minus 2i. But in this here, we don't take this, okay? So we have to say no y-intercept. My graph has no intersection with the y-axis, right? Okay, so remember that, remember how to get the x-intercept, y-intercept. So this right here. All right, so we're gonna stop here for today. And yeah, so don't hesitate, to reach out to me if you need any help, if you have some question to ask, don't hesitate to reach out to me, okay? So Elijah, you can write me your email on the, you can send me your email on the chat, you can send it to me, you see. And then, all right, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody.
See you.
And you have a great rest of the week.
Bye,
Thank you.
Professor.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you.
So the quiz is open now?
No, the quiz is closed. You haven't, you didn't do the quiz?
I thought I was supposed to do it after this class.
Ah, okay, no, it is closed. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna send it to you, right?
So you're going to send it to me in this email and then I just email it back?
Yeah, within like the next 30 minutes, okay?
Sure. I'm gonna go check now.
I mean, the next 35 minutes, okay, to be fair. So I'm sending it right now. Okay, I just sent it. All right. All right. So do you have a question, Laura?
Yeah, I accidentally sent it in like the practice quiz form and it had closed. Can you
Okay,
just?
you sent me the practice quiz.
But it was the quiz.
Okay. So I received what I see here. It looks like the quiz. Okay.
Yeah, it's the quiz. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I got it here. I got it. I received it to my email. I'm gonna save it. Okay.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Professor, I just wanted to make sure that you received it.
Yours. So
Yeah.
you submitted yours, right? You submitted
Yeah.
on Brightspace. So let me make sure. I think everybody who did submit. I think I
I think I
got it.
submitted mine correctly because
Yeah. So let me double check that. Okay, so VDMD. So I have yours. Let me make sure.
it's 2 pages.
It's 2 pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 1 page. Yeah, I have 2 pages. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Can you help me to check my submit too? Because I'm not sure I submitted correctly or not. I also have 2
Okay.
pages. Yeah.
Okay, so Lee. Okay, I got 1 PDF file here, and then I got another one. Yeah.
So I'm good, right?
Yeah, I got both of them.
All right.
Thank you.
you.
All right. Okay, so Elijah. So you send it to me when you're done. Okay. Thank you. All right.